Hello everybody, so today's video I wanted to talk about the secret to being satisfied with your art, or rather how I became satisfied with my art, I guess. It's like one of those things that I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about much, and you know, like the being the satisfied part, because you tend to see a lot of people, I guess, a lot of artists, like especially online, you know, being dissatisfied or constantly being dejected, kind of wondering like, oh, when will I ever be, you know, the same level as this artist and all that kind of stuff. And you know, I think like all these feelings are very, very like natural, and I don't want to say that it's fine, but I guess it kind of is in a way. Like it's just a very like human reaction, and I think like just humans in general, especially us creatives, will always kind of just want to be better than what we are at right now, or sometimes we just try to shoot for the stars and kind of are not really realistic on actually how to approach kind of these, you know, to achieving that goal or to achieving that style or that kind of stuff. And I feel like, you know, as someone who is not really a beginner artist, but is definitely not a very, very experienced artist either, I'm kind of like that weird middle ground, I think, if, you know, like an intermediate artist, I guess, if that's really a thing. Kind of in the recent years, like I've realized like one big thing that actually kind of makes me feel satisfied with my art is really to draw with some sort of intention, like, oh, I want to use different shades of blue or something. And yeah, just do that. Just do exactly that. Like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I want to use different shades of blue to create this feeling and atmosphere of sadness and despair. You know, it doesn't have to be anything like that. Just use blue and different shades of it, and there you go. You know, make it very, very clear. Like, make it clear and simple and straight to the point, and just do exactly what it is that you set out to do. And I find that like when you do that, like it makes things so much easier to approach. Another thing is to be realistic. It's like if you are trying to, I guess, do something that maybe is a little bit more challenging, such as, you know, using different shades of blue or something, to, I don't know, like trying to use it in like a specific illustration, and you kind of get stuck on like what shade of blue should be where. You know, be realistic that if it's something that you don't know how to do, or you haven't done before, or you're not very good at, like be very realistic that, you know, it's probably not going to turn out the way that you want it to. Some people may say otherwise, but I do think that like that's actually the best way to go, because I think having unrealistic expectations, or having an expectation at all with something creative, sometimes demotivates us creatives a lot more, and it, you know, makes us even more depressed or upset or dissatisfied with our work. And you know, all these like mistakes and all these things that I guess kind of like let us like be dissuaded, or, you know, like kind of that puts us down and stuff without it really intending to be. Like I find that, you know, those feelings like really are from us alone. You know, we let those feelings kind of take over instead of actually think like, okay, this is the thing that I want to achieve, or this is the thing that I want to do, and I'm just going to do it. And you know, you don't need to have expectations. And I know that's like really so much easier said than done, because like I too struggle with this a lot. You know, sometimes I have this like image of like what I want this like piece to be, and it doesn't turn out that way. But you know, like I think kind of wanting your piece to be a certain way and then expecting it to be without actually understanding what you're capable of, or, you know, actually really knowing what you can do and what you can't do, I think that's really what makes the big difference with what, or really like why you're unhappy with it. And like, you know, to kind of close that gap, it's very important to be realistic, and that is something that I've really, really learned, and really hit me hard recently. But you know, it will take time to accept that, and I think that's fine. But really keep it in the back of your head that being realistic doesn't necessarily mean being pessimistic. It's just it's really more about having a sense of awareness of your skill, where you want to be, how to get there, and kind of like this, and understanding that there's going to be a lot of steps for you to get there. And it's really hard to kind of actually really put that into your brain, because, you know, we're all impatient, I think. Sometimes you just see like all the work that someone has done, and you're just constantly wondering like, when will I get there? And you know, that's really not the best way to go about it. And I'm sure there's like tons and tons of YouTube videos that talk about that. So yeah, it's a struggle, but, you know, I think the best thing to take away from it is to embrace that struggle. Anyway, hope you liked this video, hope this helped you out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!